Hello, this is Andrew Stevens. Today we're going to discuss adding volunteers using RecMetrix. There are two ways to open RecMetrix. I'm going to go over the first and show you how to add a shortcut to your start menu. Go into your My Computer file and then open the S drive. Open Common. And then if you scroll down, there will be a version of RecMetrix here. These are copies people have made, so we're going to go ahead and take care of getting rid of that shortcut and this save copy. If you are ever asked to to save RecMetrix, never answer yes. Every time you're prompted, please select open. If you select save, you can end up with the same error. So to add RecMetrix to your start menu, all you need to do is click and hold on the RecMetrix icon and drop it into the programs file located somewhere within the same folder. And that will actually add RecMetrix to your start bar under Start, All Programs. So to open RecMetrix, all you need to do after you've moved the shortcut into the programs file is go to Start, All Programs, and click on RecMetrix. This is that screen I was talking about. Do you want to open or save this file? Always click Open. Your information will still be saved. It's just talking about do you want to save a local copy of the application, and we don't want to do that. We want to run the application from its network location. Periodically when you open, you'll have one or two of these yellow bars up at the top. If you have a bar that discusses enabling content, you need to go ahead and click on Enable Content. That will allow the buttons to work correctly. If you don't enable content, as you go through the program, some of the macro functions will not work and they'll error out. In addition, if you receive a macro error on boot, go ahead and click Stop Macros and make sure you do click the Enable Macros button at the beginning. This yellow bar will come up every time you open, and this is just asking you if you want to save a local copy. And again, we want to continue to run RecMetrix off of its shared network location. So we're just going to click on the small X inside of the yellow bar all the way to the right. So to add a new volunteer, we're going to go into the gap system. And first we're going to look through the list and see if our volunteer is in the list. And in this situation, I'm going to add myself as a volunteer. I will be a recurring volunteer, somebody that'll come in every week where we want to collect information. So my last name's Stevens. We don't see it in here. Just to double check that they didn't put my name in, first name, last name. We'll look and see if Andrew's up here, and it's not. So we're going to click the Advanced Find, Add a New Partner button, and we're just going to double check. I'm going to put my last name in and click Search, and we see nothing comes up. It's very important that we do a good job of ensuring that all volunteers are only in the system one time. So now I know I'm not in there. I'm going to go ahead and click Add a New Partner, located just underneath the search bar. And I'm a personal, and it's going to give us a reminder that we want to enter this person as last name, comma, first name. So Stevens, comma, Andrew. And I would go ahead and enter in the rest of my information. And then primary phone number and a second phone number. And finally, it's important to add an email address in case we need to get a hold of the partner. Organization contacts really aren't used within an individual partnership unless you will be working with a group who's going to come in strictly to volunteer. So let's say you were going to work with Starfish Initiative and work with them on a mentoring program. You really wouldn't be doing, you decide that you really wouldn't set this up as a partnership. It's just strictly volunteers coming in during open hours and interacting with youth in that time frame. You could use the organization bullet up here at the top and put Starfish Initiative in, and then you can go ahead and list off all of the primary contacts underneath that. That way all of those volunteer hours are rolled into Starfish Initiative. However, doing that method, you'll never be able to pull the information out. If a particular mentor wanted to know how many hours he or she worked, you'd never really be able to pull that information out. So after we have the information correct, you'll see there's a section down at the bottom for general notes. This is a good section to add areas of interest for volunteers. And then we'll click on the submit and close up at the top. When the screen comes back, you can go ahead and begin typing in the last name of your partner and it should pop up. Now we're going to go ahead and begin adding hours. If you have individual partners, again, that come in frequently, the data entry needs to be done once per month for the volunteer hours. So it needs to go in monthly so that our reports aggregate back monthly. Do not go into an old previous gaps down at the bottom and just supplement time, because doing that you will actually supplement the previous month or the previous year's volunteer hours, and that will begin to skew our data. The goal with our performance measures is to maintain live data. If you fail to enter somebody before the end of the month, it's not a big deal. Say it's February 5th and you forgot to enter Joe Smith's time for January, you can actually go in and put a January date in, and that will supplement the January time. But that being said, if you continue to add to January for Joe's hours in February, March, and April, all of those hours will be represented in February, and none of the hours will be represented in February, March, or April. So let's not begin doing that. So we've selected our partner, and we're going to click on Add a New Gaps. And under Gaps type, we're going to put in this as an alliance. Alliance is the Gaps type for volunteers. You see here's a short abbreviation, so we remember that alliance is volunteers. And we'll put a short title in. So this could be vol hours for December 2011. So if we look down here at the date, you'll see that today's January 11th. So I'm actually going to put information in for December of last year. And this information will still report correctly, like we mentioned before. We're going to click on Continue. And we got a little error there, so I'm going to have to look at that, but we'll click on OK. And that, you may or may not get that error. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm probably going to go fix it. Then that'll bring up this application here. And this is actually where we're going to enter the information. So preferred location, you need to put your park name in. If you have the same volunteer working at multiple parks, don't enter all of their information under the same one. Say I worked at Holiday Park and Eagle Creek. I would have a vol hours for December 2011 Holiday Park, and then a second one entered by Eagle Creek, vol hours for December 2011 Eagle Creek. And then you would select the correct park from underneath. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to choose Rhodius. I'm going to enter a start date. We'll say I started on January 1st, or excuse me, December 1st and ended December 31st, so that encompasses the entire month. So description of work, I did general work, and we'll say that I was doing semi-skilled work. and I can look back through timesheets and determine that the number of hours that I volunteered at Rhodius in December was 24 hours, and I was the only one that volunteered, so number of volunteers is 1. And then it'll auto-populate the rate by clicking on the drop-down button. And then I was working with public in youth, and I provided my own background check. You have a space up here at the top where if you need to attach documentation, you can. If you have a volunteer that comes in and works frequently and they actually maintain a timesheet, similar to an employee, you can actually scan and upload that into here by typing in timesheet and double-clicking on the paperclip and doing a standard upload. There's also a section in here for comments. And then once you're done, you're going to click Save. And then close. So now if we go back into Gap system, I'll put my name again. You'll see here's my volunteer hours for December 2011. And if I need to edit it, we can click to edit and go in and make any changes we need to. So that concludes our how to add a volunteer using RecMetrix. It's fairly simple, and I hope everybody will enjoy entering their volunteers, and eventually we'll do a video on reporting so that you're able to capture how your volunteer hours look from month to month. So thank you.